Since the early 21st century, with its strong economic, military, and political rise, China has implemented numerous economic support strategies to turn Cambodia into a friendly nation in Southeast Asia. Seizing this opportunity, the Kingdom of Pagodas also aims to leverage mainland influence to restore the golden age of the Khmer Empire. Due to its strategic location, Cambodia has become a crucial part of China's string of pearls. Therefore, over the past 2 decades, Beijing has continuously expanded its relations with Phnom Penh. Through this, the mainland also seeks to realize the billion-people country increases its influence across all sectors: politics, diplomacy, economy, security, defense, and culture, towards Cambodia, using aid and investment to bind the Phnom Penh government to its independence. China also places the Kingdom of Pagodas in a key strategic position within its overall foreign relations. Cambodia in China's eyes. Cambodia holds a strategically important position in Southeast Asia, situated to the southwest of Vietnam, east of Thailand, bordering the lower Mekong River basin. The country also has the deep water port of Sihanoukville, located along the strategic maritime route from Thus, the Kingdom of Pagodas is considered a vital pearl, connecting the southern mainland region to the Gulf of Thailand and further to ports in the Indian Ocean. Therefore, dominating Cambodia brings China numerous political, defense, and security. With its growing presence here, the mainland can curb the increasing influence of the U.S. and its allies in the region. Support for the Philippines and Vietnam poses challenges to China, and also helps increase pressure on Vietnam from the southwest should relations between the two countries become tense. Located at the heart of mainland Southeast Asia, Cambodia's Sihanoukville is a strategically positioned base for deploying military power in the Gulf of Thailand and the Strait of Malacca, and it can transform into a logistical hub to ensure oil supply for modern naval fleets to control the South China Sea, Pacific Ocean, and India. Additionally, Cambodia's Air Force bases and airports can serve as refueling stations, in case China lacks aerial refueling capability to control maritime zones. By dominating the Kingdom of Pagodas, the mainland will use the country's military bases to engage with ASEAN, thereby directly competing with U.S. influence. Economic perspective. Besides the Belt and Road Initiative, China is also implementing a Western development strategy to promote growth in its western and southwestern provinces, aiming to reduce the development gap with the eastern coastal province. Its economy grew rapidly, but the disparity in development between the country. Recognizing the potential harm of this, in 1999, General Secretary of the People's Republic of China, Jiang Zemin, proposed the implementation. The goal is to increase the total number of bridges built, boost national economic growth, foster ethnic unity, stabilize society, and strengthen borders. By January 2000, the Chinese government established the Western Development Leading Group, with Premier Zhu Rongji as its head. The spatial scope of the Western Development Strategy covers 6 provinces: Qinghai, Gansu, Shaanxi, Sichuan, along with 5 autonomous regions: Inner Mongolia, Ningxia, Xinjiang, Tibet, and Guangxi. To successfully implement this strategy, China aims for cooperation between its western provinces and Southeast Asian countries rich in resources, but underdeveloped, such as Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia. Among them, Cambodia has diverse mineral resources like iron, gold, and manganese in large quantities. The country also has significant oil and gas potential, with offshore reserves possibly reaching 2 billion barrels in 10. Currently, the Kingdom of Pagodas has cooperated in drilling 22 exploratory oil wells, with many major oil and gas corporations from France, the US, China, South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia. Besides oil and gas, Cambodia also has various precious woods in considerable quantities, with up to 70% of its area covered by forests. Additionally, the Kingdom of Pagodas has an abundant labor force at low cost. Moreover, the country's infrastructure system needs upgrading and expansion, making it a lucrative market for Chinese businesses to. At the same time, as a member of ASEAN, Cambodia serves as an extension of China's own. To increase its economic influence in the region and penetrate deeper into the BRICS market. With a population of nearly 680 million and a GDP over 3.8, the region's economy holds much development potential and is a dynamic market for mainland businesses to invest in. Therefore, China is the largest aid donor to Cambodia, clearly stemming from the strategic intent to make Phnom Penh represent Beijing's interests within ASEAN. Furthermore, hydropower potential and abundant land, making it increasingly attractive to China. One influential figure in Cambodia is Sam Rainsy, who has publicly expressed a political stance of anti-Vietnam when saying on Hong Kong's Phoenix TV that Cambodia views China not only as a friend but also as an ally. Moreover, he supports the mainland in defending its entire territory. All islands occupied by China in the South China Sea are its territory. Furthermore, to curry favor with China, Sam Rainsy continuously attacks Vietnam and asserts that China is the future and Cambodia must rely on China to resist the influence of its two neighboring countries, Thailand and Vietnam. As 5-year general elections, there are always traces of Beijing. A notable example is in 2013, after the National Assembly. Cambodia's political situation is relative. At that time, the Cambodian National Rescue Party declared it would not accept the election results and mobilizing international organizations to support them and demanding a reinvestigation. In response to the situation, China took actions by having 2 high-level leader visits to Cambodia within less than a month. As Cambodian people. And Sam Rainsy's Cambodian National Rescue Party to stabilize the political situation. In the 2018 6th National Assembly election, amid pressure from the US and the West as the country's Supreme Court dissolved the National Rescue Party, China supported the People's Party and Prime Minister Hun. This action demonstrates that Beijing does not want to miss the opportunity to ensure its ally Hun Sen continues to hold. In the 2023 7th National Assembly election, the ruling People's Party won, with the highest number of votes among the 18 political parties participating. Since this election, Hun Sen's son, Hun Man-ae, a military general, has succeeded him to become the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia. Shortly after taking office, at the invitation of Chinese Premier Li Chang, Hun Man-ae made an official visit to the People's. Subsequently, the two governments jointly signed an action plan to build a community with a shared future for the period 2024 to 2028, and many other cooperate. Notably, the two governments also emphasized that no matter how the international situation changes, Cambodia and China will continue to promote their friendly relations and increasingly deep cooperation for the benefit of both. Additionally, President Xi Jinping also emphasized that Hun Sen's choice of China for his first foreign visit, after taking office, reflects the importance Phnom Penh places on consolidating and developing friendship with it. In the economic field, China is demonstrating itself as Cambodia's most important. Its ambassador in Phnom Penh stated that the land of the temple is an important member of ASEAN and a comprehensive cooperative partner of Beijing. Over the past 10 years, from 2013 to 2023, Cambodia-China trade and economic relations have seen significant development, as the two countries are good neighbors and good partners. As Chinese dream in Cambodia, enabling the two countries to work together and welcome a golden decade in China's massive financial resources. China is actively leveraging its strengths in investment aid, trade to increase Cambodia's dependence on it. The country is providing billions of dollars in non-refundable aid and a series of preferential credit lines to the land. In 2014, it surpassed the US to become the largest aid donor to Cambodia with an amount of $223 million, while the US figure was only $76 million, about one-third. Statistics show that in 2023, Chinese companies invested over $3 billion in the land of the temple, while Phnom Penh's external debt is about $9 billion, with 40% of that debt owed to Beijing. There are currently over 2,000 Chinese companies and enterprises operating and doing business, including many key infrastructure investment projects such as hydroelectric, steel production plants, and railway lines worth tens of billions. Among which the most controversial project is the Funan Canal. Currently, Chinese banks are also actively negotiating with Cambodian banks to increase the use of the renminbi in payment transfers, aiming to establish a solid foothold in Cambodia's economy, which is dominated by the strong development of economic relations between the two countries has served as a driving force for China's intentions towards Cambodia. The mainland's aid in building infrastructure also facilitates its companies to invest, do business, dominate the market, and bring labor to work in Cambodia, thereby gradually turning the land of the temple into a supplier of raw materials and a consumer of. Simultaneously, through investing in the development of Trans-Asian Railway and roads, Laos and Myanmar, the country of 1 billion people will gradually penetrate and expand its. Additionally, thanks to Chinese funding, Cambodia's economy has grown positively. According to the World Bank in 2020, the economy of the land of the temple contracted by. However, in the post-COVID-19 period, the economy gradually recovered and grew by 3% in 2021 and 5.2% in 2020. By the end of 2023, the economy of the land of the temple grew by approximately 5%, while it is forecasted that in 2024, this figure could reach 5%. China is also a huge market for Cambodia, especially for potential agricultural crops such as rice, bananas, mangoes, seafood, and gardenite. Additionally, their investment not only brings new capital but also advanced technology for social development. According to some Cambodian economic experts, China is a significant helping the country achieve its ambitious goal of becoming an upper middle income country by 2030 and a high income country by 2050. Besides economics and politics, Cambodia's defense also bears many marks of China. The continuous increase in spending, investment in weapons, and modern equipment somewhat reflects the shadow of the former. According to Global Firepower, Cambodia currently ranks 111th in the world in military strength, with the country projected to spend about $700 million on its defense budget, while maintaining approximately 221,000 active military personnel and 10,000 in paramilitary. However, this figure is still quite far behind neighboring countries like Thailand, ranked 25th, and Vietnam, ranked 22nd. Currently, Cambodia only ranks one step above Laos, with the dream of restoring the golden age of the Khmer Empire. The government decided to partner with China, which is now the main supplier of military equipment to Cambodia. Through military cooperation, Beijing strengthens its influence over Phnom Penh, bringing the country into its orbit, serving strategic goals in the region. During the visit of a high-level Chinese military delegation to Cambodia in October 1999, Beijing committed to providing 250 tanks, 230 artillery units, 100 military trucks, and a large number of machine guns. Subsequently, the expansion of military cooperation between the two countries began in 2010. Marked by China replacing the U.S. in supplying Cambodia with 200. The two countries also conducted numerous working visits between military delegations at various levels to implement information exchange mechanisms and sign. In addition, China continued to provide grants and military equipment to the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces. In 2013, Phnom Penh received a military aid package from Beijing consisting of 12 Harbin G9 helicopters worth $195 million through her. In February 2014, they received 26 trucks and about 30,000 military uniforms from China. By May 2015, Beijing also transferred a series of military equipment to Phnom Penh, including 44 military vehicles, 20 loaders, 4 mobile kitchens, 2 tons of chemicals. From 2019 to 2023, the Cambodian government under Prime Minister Hun Sen spent hundreds of millions of dollars to purchase Chinese military equipment, including the KS-1 medium-range missiles, PHL-03 rocket artillery systems, and unmanned aerial vehicles. Notably, according to some satellite images, the Ring Naval Base area is also equipped with the HQ-9 surface-to-air. To date, the proportion of Chinese-made weapons in the equipment of Cambodia's Navy, Army, and Air Force is increasingly high. Besides providing weapons, equipment, and operational funding, Beijing also assists Phnom Penh in building office buildings, training facilities for military and police forces. A prime example is the construction of the military academy, with over 70 buildings on a 148-hectare area. Next is the police-story headquarters of the Cambodian National Police General Commissariat, along with 292 police classrooms and dormitories of the military academy. Additionally, China helps the government train thousands of military officers and security personnel. Since 2009, about 200 to 300 soldiers from the military academy have been selected annually for 4-year courses in mainland China. These courses are taught personally by Chinese generals, including combat skills, survival in harsh conditions, and the use of modern equipment. Besides financial support, weapon supply, and personnel training, China and Cambodia have conducted many joint naval exercises. The most important of these is the Golden Dragon exercise. The first one took place in 2016 in Kampong Speu province, with the participation of 85 Chinese soldiers and 256 in areas such as road repair, mine clearance and explosive disposal, bridge construction, and resettlement for disaster. In 2018, during Prime Minister Li Keqiang's visit to Cambodia, the second Golden Dragon exercise was held in the western part of the capital, with 280 Cambodian soldiers and 216 Chinese soldiers participating, focusing on counter-terrorism and humanitarian. Recently, on May 16, 2024, the two countries' armies jointly organized the 6th Golden. According to Royal Cambodian Armed Forces spokesperson Bong Solimo, a Chinese warship docked at the port city of Sihanoukville, with the participation of 2,075 troops, including 760 Chinese soldiers, the remainder being Royal Cambodian Armed Forces. The exercise location is the Military Training Center in Kampong Shanang Province, and the offshore waters of Praia Sihanouk Province. The two countries are excited to participate with 14 warships, including 3 from China, along with 2 helicopters and 69. Cambodia stated that the exercise content includes live fire drills, counterterrorism, and humanitarian assistance. The goal is to build on the achievements from the 5 previous joint exercises, aiming to learn from each other, strengthen security, and prevent terrorism in both countries as well as the entire region. Many assessments indicate this is the largest joint exercise between Cambodia and China to date. The entire cost of the 6th Golden Dragon exercise will be covered by Beijing. In the future, China will continue to be a key partner for Cambodia in providing military equipment and training defense and security personnel. Those trained by China will play an important role in developing Cambodia's defense, thereby fostering aspirations to restore the Golden Era, while helping Beijing deepen its intervention in Phnom Penh's internal. However, Cambodia's path toward a strong economy may face obstacles from external short-term risks and internal weaknesses. Short-term risks stem from the slowing economic growth in China, the largest contributor to Cambodia's FDI and tourism. Additionally, there is a prolonged downturn in the real estate sector due to the pandemic, causing financial difficulties and pressure on the economy. Furthermore, extreme weather phenomena and climate change, if not effectively addressed, will hinder Cambodia's growth potential. On the other hand, to achieve development aspirations, Cambodia not only needs rapid growth but also must ensure inclusivity and sustainability. Meanwhile, they are facing serious issues such as unreasonable job allocation, increasing income inequality, and deforestation harming the environment. So, in your opinion, will Cambodia succeed in returning to its golden era, especially in the context of increasingly fierce competition? Please leave your comments below. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.